What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new news break. I'm your host, Vince, and today I am joined by the Pun Master General, the Jedi Master himself, Terry Jeffs. How's it going, Terry?
I am good, Vince. Lots and lots of PlayStation news. Excited to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we got so much news. PlayStation decided today was the day to apparently drop so much information and is only giving us 2 days since recording this on Tuesday before they're about to drop more information for us in a state of play.
Unbelievable. Just dropping an atom bomb.
Yeah. They just came in and decided, you know what? Let's just drop a whole bunch of news and then get people prepared for more news. Of course. But luckily, we're here to recover it. And speaking of a state of play, we're doing a live reacts. That's right.
Woo.
If you thought our Nintendo one was good, just wait until you see.
Then you are crazy.
You're absolutely crazy. Nintendo absolutely dropped the ball on that one, but hopefully PlayStation's there to pick it up and keep us actually entertained throughout a whole presentation.
This is the one we've been looking forward to. This is the one we're looking forward to, Vince. And I'm kind of certain that they just kind of watched Nintendo drop the ball and just thought, quickly, just put one together. Anything will be better. So, yeah.
Absolutely anything would have been better than that. But you know what? That first one, the Nintendo one, absolute trial run. That was our first one. Knocked it out of the park. It was okay. Yeah. This is the real deal. This is officially number one. Here we go.
This is it. Yeah.
This is it. But speaking of PlayStation, we may as well cover it since we've been talking about it. PlayStation is doing a state of play on February 25th. That's right. If you're watching it today, Wednesday, it's happening tomorrow, the 25th. This is via IGN from Matt T.M. Kim. PlayStation has announced a state of play will premiere later this week on Thursday, February 25th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. The new state of play will feature updates and deep dives on games coming to both PS4 and PS5. PlayStation published a new blog announcing the newest state of play will premiere later this week and will serve up updates and deep dives for 10 games coming to PS4 and PS5, along with updates on existing third-party and indie titles. There will also be new game announcements. PlayStation says the show will be around 30 minutes or so, give or take, and that there will be no hardware or business-focused updates during the show. That means a full 30 minutes will be spent on games. Terry, how absolutely exciting is this? 30 minutes full of games.
I'm really excited about this. We've been talking about this for a while now. The rumors have been going around. This one's been coming. So yeah, I'm always interested in these. I don't, same with the Nintendo ones. I don't like to get my expectations too up in the sky, because at the end of the day, it's a state of play. They've got 30 minutes. You can't exactly show the world like everything that you've got in the pipeline in the next few years. So I just like seeing a few little nuggets of like exciting things going on, and anything to just kind of get me thirsty for this new generation. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to this either way.
Oh yeah. Plus we've had some pretty major announcements out of State of Plays, right? We had the Final Fantasy VII remake, was the release date dropped. We had the Resident Evil 3 remake drop through a State of Play. What do you think is going to be this State of Play's big end of show get hype moment?
See, it's an interesting one because I think surely it's got to be from the game. I mean, games that haven't been announced yet could be anything, but I don't think we're going to get too much of that because we had the State of Play. Would it have been last year? Yeah, like whatever the PlayStation 5 one, the announcement one. So we've had a bunch of stuff announced already, scheduled for the end of this year or 2022 that we haven't even seen much more of. So I'm imagining we're going to see much more of that. We're going to see, I guess, a more focused gameplay trailer maybe on Ratchet of Clank, as we're going to be getting that soon. Maybe some more stuff on Returnal. I do think that we'll probably get a in-depth, like a big trailer for God of War, Ragnarok, and I think they'd be silly to announce that it's going to be delayed in this state of play, because I don't think it's, as one of my predictions, I don't think it's coming out this year. I think everyone's on board with that now.
Sure.
But yeah, in terms of games that we haven't seen, I think this is surely got to be the time for Elden Ring, and I'm sure you're hoping so too, Vince. I'm sure we've got to see a trailer or something now.
Oh yeah, it's probably about time for it, to be honest, because we've been in an Elden Ring drought for the longest time recently.
Yeah,
I think the last news was that trailer at E3 a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate. But you did leave off a game that I'm surprised you left off. It's something you're currently playing, Horizon 2.
Oh yeah.
Do you think we get gameplay for that?
Yeah, I think you've got to, right? Because again, is that even going to release this? I mean, like when they announced that, I think everyone was expecting that to be like a Q1 or Q2 game for this year. But now I think we're pretty much expecting it. If we're lucky, it's going to be like a Q4 game. But I can even see that dropping into 2022. So who knows? I mean, they may. The thing is with PlayStation, it's like they are kind of in a situation right now where they are kind of spoilt for choice. Like, we know that there's just so many exclusives coming, so many games coming, that it's just a case of like, okay, what do we want to show? You know, what do we need to show, and what do we want to show? Like, what stuff should we keep close to our chest? I'm sure there's plenty of stuff. And what, you know, how do we kind of temper expectations and slowly drip feed this stuff out, because they've got it all there in the bank, in the vault, ready to go. So I think, you know, as we said, we've got Returnal, Ratchet and Clank coming in the summer. We're gonna need some big hitters for the end of the year. So if Horizon isn't going to be that, and maybe it will be, I don't know, maybe they do come out with something just to say, look, boom, this is coming at the end of the year. They've got to give us something that we've got to see, I think, through this state of play, what the PlayStation 5's 2021 looks like.
Yeah.
I think we have to come off of this and go, right, okay, that's what, forget the years after, this is what we've got in store for this year. Let us know like what's coming, what's going on.
Yeah, and that's the big thing for me. I think Horizon is probably for sure before God of War. I think we'll see that game absolutely before God of War. And the fact that it says 10 games coming to PS4 and PS5, we already know that Horizon's going to be on both platforms. It was previously announced that it's also coming to PS4 as well as PS5, so that kind of hints towards kind of that generation spanning game that they need. I would hope, and this might be crazy to say, since we just had a Spider-Man Miles Morales last year.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed we see at least a logo or some kind of CGI trailer for a Spider-Man 2. Because, I mean, I'm sure they're working on it. Not Insomniac. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was Insomniac.
Insomniac. Yeah.
It's probably the worst kept secret there, to be honest. that they're working on Spider-Man 2, since that game did really well. And to be honest, I kind of liked it a bit more than God of War, but that's just me personally. It's the only game I actually have a platinum in, so of course.
Wow.
And the game was just fantastic. So maybe we get a little bit of something out of that, but again, I'm probably not holding my breath on that one, to be honest.
I think like you said, I think that it's probably a no-brainer that they're working on that now. So, I mean, even if they just dropped the logo, boom, there's a headline. You know, that's just like, that's first of all like big enough for everyone to like lose their shit, and we know it's happening, so they wouldn't have anything to lose by kind of just dropping that, even if they said it was like 2023, you know, whatever it's going to be. Like, you could just kind of just drop that in there somewhere. So yeah, I mean, I hadn't even thought of that before, but yeah, that could be something they could easily do. But yeah, if they announce it, we wouldn't get any more than purely a title. Like, it might kind of point to what kind of the story might be or something like that. But yeah.
And out of these 10 games, I know they said coming to PS4 and PS5. How many do you hope are actually PS5 exclusive that actually take the power of the PS5 and actually use it? You think it's maybe 3 or 4?
It's a really tricky one, isn't it? Because as you were saying this, I was just thinking about God of War, and I was thinking, even if development was going absolutely fine and they were on schedule still to hit for what has been announced like this year, what it's meant to be releasing, would they even really want to? Considering God of War, I'm sure that is a PS5. It's not available on PS4, is it? I don't think God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I don't think they've specifically said whether it's going to be PS5 exclusive or not.
Okay.
I mean, you got to assume that it will be, right?
I would imagine so, but I'm not completely sure on that. But let's say it is, then surely you kind of want to bide your time as much as possible to get as many PlayStation 5s in hands, because why would you want to create this new, kind of platform defining game when only, I don't know, like how many PS5s are in the wild now? What are we at now?
Like 10, right?
Yeah, 10. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, and which is why, I completely get it. Why Guerrilla are putting Horizon out to both consoles. I get it. If that game is coming out this year, absolutely makes sense. You're going to sell way more copies. Going to get it out there. But at the same time, obviously, I mean, you want to see games that are just being developed for next gen only, because in that way they're just pushing it. They're just pushing this tech as much as possible, and that's what you want to see. But we are in a very peculiar situation at the moment with COVID and the delay and the effects that's happening. I think we're going to see the biggest. This period, this transition period is going to be the most drawn out we've ever seen, I think, of generations, because it's just taking so long for people to jump onto that next gen, So we're going to see, I think, a lot of games coming out cross-platform.
That's true. And it is pretty difficult to get your hands on a PS5. But we do know someone who has actually recently gotten his hands on a PS5. That's right, everybody. Adam Very has done it. He is the current owner of a PS5. Round of applause, everyone. Round of applause.
Send him a tweet and congratulate him. It's many tireless nights he has been trying to hunt down that PlayStation 5, and he's finally got it.
All of his work has finally paid off. He is no longer the PS5 hunter. He is the PS5 owner. He's done it. So, to round out this news story, I want to drop a question for you, Terry.
Yeah.
What would be the most hype moment for you? What's the dream announcement from this state of play? Doesn't have to be anything we know about.
Dream announcement, right? Okay, so
dream announcement.
So exciting announcements, and small dreams. As I've announced, said before on our, what we guess what may happen this year. Jak and Daxter trilogy, remake, remastered, or even just Jak and Daxter would be amazing. But if you truly asked what would be the one where I just absolutely lose it, it would be a new Wipeout. And I know that's never going to happen, because it's just like Studio Liverpool's gone, that team's dissolved, they're all working in different places. So I don't even know what I'd be asking for there. But I don't know, just some form of Wipeout that would be enough to lose. I'll just lose it. Yeah. What about you?
Ooh, that's a good question. And I'm glad I posed it. A lot of it has been, new God of War, great. New Horizon, awesome. We're obviously getting a new Ratchet and Clank game, which is exciting because 2016's Ratchet and Clank was underrated. It was a really solid game. I liked it. But what would absolutely make me lose my mind? You know what? Part of me wants to say Final Fantasy VII Part 2.
Oh, man.
But I don't think we get it that soon, since they're working on 16.
That would
probably be amazing.
Oh, that's a good point, though, because I don't think we're going to see... I mean, I'd be dancing up and down on this table if we see some part 2 action, but I just don't see it. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Because before the first part came out, I thought we were way off, and they just then really kind of sped up the development cycle on that. So I don't know. They might have it down. They might have been well into it before we even got part 1 released. They might have been like working away on it. So we might have something to look at. That would be great. Didn't even think of that. But
it'd be fantastic.
16, yeah, maybe I'd like to see more of 16 because it has been since we saw that first trailer, which looked very early. Like it looked a bit rough, like in terms of like the frame rate and stuff like that. But I want to see more of that, absolutely, because I'm excited as hell for that.
Oh, for sure. So that's the state of play out of the way. And they mentioned in the article they're not going to focus on hardware because you know what? They already did today. The PlayStation 5 is getting a VR system. This comes directly from the PlayStation blog, introducing the next generation of VR on PlayStation. This is by Hideki Nishino on the PlayStation blog. He is Senior Vice President, Platform Planning, and Management. So he obviously has the inside scoop on this. More than 4 years ago, we launched PlayStation VR to offer a transformative new way to play games on PS4, providing a much stronger sense of presence and deeper immersion for players compared with traditional games. In that time, we've seen tremendous experiences that have propelled virtual reality gaming forward, including highly acclaimed titles like Astrobot Rescue Mission, Tetris Effect, Blood and Truth, Moss, Beat Saber, and Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. We've also enhanced the experience for some PSVR titles when played on PS4 Pro and PlayStation 5. Today, I'm pleased to share that our next generation VR system will be coming to PlayStation 5, enabling the ultimate entertainment experience with dramatic leaps in performance and interactivity. Players will feel an even greater sense of presence and become even more immersed in their game worlds once they put on the new headset. We're continuing to innovate our new VR system so that our fans can continue to enjoy unique experiences that are synonymous with PlayStation. We're taking what we've learned since launching PSVR on PS4 to develop a next-gen VR system that enhances everything from resolution and field of view to tracking and input. It will connect to PS5 with a single cord to simplify setup and improve ease of use, while enabling a high-fidelity virtual experience. One of the innovations we're excited about is our new VR controller, which will incorporate some of the key features found in the DualSense wireless controller, along with a focus on great ergonomics. That's just one of the examples of future-proof technology we're developing to match our vision for a whole new generation of VR games and experiences. There's still a lot of development underway for our new VR system, so it won't be launching in 2021. But we wanted to provide this early update to our fans as the development community has started to work on creating new worlds for you to explore in virtual reality. Lot of words there, but
you done good, Vince. You done good there.
A lot of words there, but we're getting a new PlayStation VR. That's pretty exciting, honestly. I didn't think we'd see this for a while, but it seems like we still probably won't be, at least not in 2021. So when do you think this will actually launch? Do you think this is a 2022, 2023 thing, maybe later?
Yeah, I think I heard somewhere that we're not going to be getting this till 2022, and that's absolutely fine. Doesn't matter as long as I know it's in the works. Absolutely fine. I mean, honestly, this excited me more than the announcement of the state of play, and I'll tell you why, Vince. Because even though I don't have PSVR, I do very much feel like VR is going to be such a huge part of our future, like in gaming. And we're just really literally at the beginning of that, taking baby steps of that. And I've kind of been watching that grow, like from the for the first Oculus. Remember, trying the first Oculus at like at EGX when it came out and playing Elite Dangerous on it and stuff like that, thinking, oh my god, this is where we're going. This is going to be it. But as I mentioned before, when playing Astro's Playroom on the PlayStation 5 and saying,
Mhm.
God, it really hit me just like when you're collecting all this hardware, just how much history and hardware that PlayStation have created. And one of the things that I really do kind of admire about them is that they really will try to kind of dip their toe in stuff, and some stuff will fail, but they just really like to give stuff a go, similar to the way that Nintendo did. I guess they did more back in the day, but they still do now to a certain extent. But what I like about it is that they just fully went in with VR, and even though they were very clear in saying, "Look, this is the beginning for us. Like, this is a technology we believe in, but at the same time, we're not trying to we're not trailblazing through this. We don't expect to be selling millions and millions and millions of copies and like releasing all these games. We know that people that are going to be buying this are going to be people that are really interested in the tech, early adopters, stuff like that." So that's the one hand, but on the other hand, I was worried because the other part of PlayStation is like, yes, they will try things and they will experiment, and they gave it a really, really, really good go with handhelds. They had the PSP, which sold amazingly well, particularly in Japan, and then they had the Vita, which didn't have as much of a widespread pickup as the PSP did, and then they just quietly just left it. They just backed away from it, and we're just like, and then they just didn't even acknowledge it existed anymore. And I was scared that when the PlayStation 5 was announced and they released all the hardware, there was just like no mention of PSVR, and I just thought, oh, okay, so are we like where do we stand here? Are you just going to forget about this tech now? Like, what's going on? So when this was announced today, it was a huge relief for myself because I never got to jump onto the PSVR train, because at the time when it came out, I just didn't have the money to get it, and I couldn't really warrant purchasing it because I felt like I needed a new PS4, which now has become like the PS5 anyway. So it is, when it does come out, it's something that I'm really eager to jump on, because I do think that VR is such a huge thing. Like I really want to get Half-Life Alyx, but I just can't afford the tech to play it. I know that won't be on PS4. Who knows? Maybe it will. But yeah, I mean, this is great. What about you?
And this is absolutely exciting. Like, I was kind of wondering where Sony was going to go with VR, because they put out the PSVR. There was a few games for it, not a whole lot. They didn't really go like super all in on it. But you did have your gems, like, they mentioned Astro's Playroom, the Resident Evil 7 VR experience for it, Tetris Effect, which everybody loved on the VR.
Yeah.
Which still runs pretty amazing on other consoles as well.
Beat Saber, and all those.
Oh yeah, Beat Saber, which I also have never gotten into VR. I don't think I've even used a VR headset, but it's one of the things that has really piqued my curiosity to see how much further we can take this technology, and to hear they're making a lot of the improvements that I've heard people complain about with VR. It's really got me interested to see, what more Sony can bring to the table, because obviously with Half-Life Alyx's release, it kind of revolutionized VR, made it kind of like more of, a AAA experience that you would expect from a newer console, to say. So it's really got me interested to see, obviously they're working on new worlds to build for it. So I'm just kind of wonder what that's going to be like. And if anybody can nail it and give us a very polished experience, it's going to be PlayStation.
Yeah. And I do believe that they're the ones that, the PSVR is never going to be the top of the VR tech. You're going to be wanting to go for like, whatever the top, what is it, the Valve Index? I think that's I think that's going to be, if you want the very, very, very best of the tech and the most money, like that's where you're going to go. But I really, truly believe that with what PlayStation were doing with their VR games, they are the ones that are going to try and bring it into the living rooms, and get like friends and family gathered around on the couch and doing all that kind of stuff. We spoke, previously about the the patents that they were going in for the tech of being able to use your phone and stuff like that. They're looking at ways around that they can make it inclusive, make it more like of an actual a group thing, because VR very much is like renowned for being this like thing where you're just kind of shut off from the world and it's you by yourself. So you know, we're gonna find ways, and people were complaining like they're still gonna have an attachment, like a lead, which is still a huge improvement on the past PSVR, but not quite Oculus. Is it the Oculus Go? What is it called? The Oculus Go? I can't remember what one it is. The compact one, which I've used, which is great. It's fantastic. But you know, and I'm not expecting that. But
the Quest,
the Quest. Sorry, yeah. But it's very, very early days, and that's the thing. I've had this conversation so many times. I've got a close friend who we pretty much had this like friendly bet on like years ago that he just thought VR is a flash in the pan. It's not going anywhere. I was very much like, no, it's not. It's always going to continually grow, but it's going to grow slowly. And I always compare it to where we are right now with VR is basically where we were with the Atari in terms of video games. We're just right at the beginning, and so you're going to see these new genres of games being born all the time. And when you hear these interviews with developers, and you hear their excitement when they're developing VR games, they're like, oh my God, it's like going back to the drawing board again, you know, because it's like, you kind of break down these walls of what you're used to of developing a game traditionally. And it's like, anything's possible. Like, what could we do? Like, and that's what I love about it, because soon we're going to get that Mario or, you know, whatever it may be, that Zelda. It's going to be that thing that's going to be like, oh my God, this is what VR games can be, you know?
Oh yeah. So, question for the news break, or for this segment: what's a PlayStation franchise you would love to see get the VR treatment?
Well, I tell you one that I always asked for, or I've already got it, which was Wipeout. So Wipeout, the Omega collection, that actually has PSVR support, and everyone says how good it is. It's like you can see you're in the cockpit. I don't know how it doesn't make you sick. Don't know, but because I've played some VR games which can give you bad motion sickness. But oh man, what else would I use? That's a good question. Good question, Vince. I don't know. Do you have any in mind?
For me, I would think Uncharted would be really good. I mean, you've got that kind of like Indiana Jones-esque treasure hunting, climbing, you know, cliffs and structures, sneaking past enemies, or even just getting into, you know, a firefight with enemies. It doesn't even have to be like Nathan Drake or anything. It could just be, you know, we've still got room in the Uncharted franchise to play with a little bit, I'm sure. But I would like to see an Uncharted game in VR, just because I think it would be interesting solving puzzles and stuff like that, which is kind of what VR is already like used for a little bit. But I think someone could probably put a unique spin on it with Uncharted, honestly.
Yeah, that would be good. Be interesting to see how they do it. One that just comes to mind is although they're not exclusively to PlayStation, but that game company, like if they did something that was just a VR game, just a VR experience, I know that they would do something that would just be completely different, and just something, you know, imagine something like Journey, but I don't know, wouldn't have to be in first person, but something like that. It's just a beautiful world to explore. Just anything really like that. But that's the thing with VR, it's so hard to kind of think outside of the box that we're used to, because you just think, first person shooters, you know, platformers, like, and it's so. But who knows what could be done? But don't know. Good question.
I can see that getting much more interesting. But keeping with this PlayStation hype train that we're going on, Sony is bringing back the Play at Home initiative, which is very exciting because you know what? It's free games. This is from IGN via Logan Plant. Sony to offer Ratchet and Clank PS4 entirely for free next month. Sony is bringing its Play at Home initiative, offering select games and entertainment for free from March through June. First up, Ratchet and Clank 2016 will be free for all PlayStation 4 and 5 owners throughout March, including players who do not subscribe to PlayStation Plus. Sony says once you redeem the game, it is yours to keep with no time limit attached. Beginning March 25th for a limited time, anime streaming services Funimation and Wakanim will offer extended access for new subscribers in supported countries. For Funimation, the offer is available in the United States, Canada, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. The Wakanim offer is available in most of Western and Northern Europe. Those are the only offers Sony has currently announced for the second round of the Play at Home initiative. Last April, Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, and Journey were available for free for a limited time. So, this is exciting. A free game so far, and a subscription to Funimation for most of the world, it seems. So, did you play Ratchet and Clank 2016?
I did, yeah. So I played it last year, absolutely loved it, and this is just great because I think I was talking to Adam about this previously, but I just feel like I really want more people to play Ratchet and Clank and know just how great quality those games are, and I do feel like Rift Apart will be the biggest one yet because I just feel like more eyes are on it at the moment. And yeah, so just being able to give this to players for free is great because it's just a fantastic game. It holds up still really well, looks great. I say, I played through it recently and really good. What about you, Vince?
I really liked it. I mean, it was the one that was tied to the movie, and then I had played the game, then found a way to watch the movie, which was pretty okay. I mean, it wasn't the best thing, but
no,
they still kind of nailed Ratchet and Clank a little bit. But I mean, I think because it had that attachment, people were, kind of avoiding it, I guess I should say, because movie-based video games, or video game-based movies, either way around, both work.
Yeah,
typically aren't great.
It's funny because I saw it the other way around, really, because I guess maybe one came out before the other. I know it was very close, but I never really saw it in that this was like based on the movie. I just thought that they just made a movie that was a movie version of this game, because this game is literally just Ratchet and Clank 2016 is just a remake of the PS2 original, but it's really clever in that they kind of change things a little bit, and they have a way of doing that in the game. So it's like because you've got Captain Quark is kind of retelling the story of what happened by his account. So it's clever how they do it, but
it is.
I loved it.
Oh yeah, and it's a great way for people to get excited for Rift Apart. Just play through 2016 and you'll understand why people are super excited for Rift Apart, because it's a great game. Honestly, it's definitely up there with one of my favorites, because I mean, I used to love Ratchet and Clank back in the day. I think I played at least like the first 2, maybe 3, then kind of fell off the series because for a while I didn't own a PS3, so I missed out on the PS3 versions of Ratchet and Clank. And then with the 2016 one, I was like, I've got a PS4. I liked Ratchet and Clank one. I picked this one up and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I'm so excited to see people, get their hands on it now, since it will be for free. And you don't even have to have a PlayStation Plus membership to download it for free, which is exciting.
It's great. It's really good that they do this. It's good.
Oh yeah, good move on them. And speaking of getting more people to play PlayStation games, PlayStation first-party games are coming to PC. This is again from IGN via Jonathan Dornbush. More PlayStation first-party games to come to PC including Days Gone this spring. PlayStation will bring more of its first-party exclusive lineup to PC, reportedly beginning with PS4 exclusive Days Gone in spring 2021. In an interview with GQ, Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan said it was a, quote, straightforward decision to release more first-party PC ports. GQ's write-up includes the detail that Days Gone will be the first of those PC ports this spring, but Ryan isn't directly quoted as saying so. IGN have contacted Sony for confirmation, and Sony has confirmed that to IGN that Days Gone will arrive for PC in spring. Quote, I think a few things changed, Ryan replied when asked why the company had changed its tack on releasing exclusives for PC. Quote, we find ourselves now in early 2021 with our development studios and the games that they make in better shape than they've ever been before. Particularly from the latter half of the PS4 cycle, our studios made some wonderful, great games. There's an opportunity to expose those great games to a wider audience and recognize the economics of game development, which are not always straightforward. The cost of making games goes up with each cycle, as the caliber of the IP has improved. Also, our ease of making it available to non-console owners has grown, so it's a fairly straightforward decision for us to make. The announcement follows in the footsteps of Horizon Zero Dawn, which Sony announced for and released for PC in 2020. Ryan explains that SIE addresses the reaction to the port in making the decision to release more ports, explaining that PC players, quote, liked it and they bought it, and that there was no massive adverse reaction from PlayStation players to the game heading off of consoles. Quote, we will continue to take mission steps in this direction, Ryan added. So this is exciting. More people can actually play Days Gone, which unfortunately I have never played just because I haven't heard too many good things about it. But I mean, this is a great chance for PlayStation to put more games into people's hands by bringing them PC. I know Xbox has already been doing it for a while with Game Pass on PC and then bringing like Ori and Cuphead to Switch. So it's good to see PlayStation kind of moving that way as well. How about you, Jay? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is just nothing but good news, really. I mean, it's as you said, just gets the games out there into more hands. It's always weird to see, like when this first started happening, it was very strange. I can't remember what the first one was to do it. Was it wasn't what was it, Horizon? I can't remember.
Yeah, Horizon.
Yeah,
PC.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, why the hell not? Make the most out of putting that money into that studio, into making that game, get as much money back on it eventually as you can, and yeah, like you said, just go to a far-reaching audience. I do think that this is just like the way that things are going to go now, and like I hopefully it's not too close to this future, but I think that in the far future, consoles one day will be obsolete, and in the end, all that's going to be left are the studios. So these games are going to be going all kinds of places. You know, once we've got the tech where we're going to be like streaming flawlessly, everyone's going to be streaming games from their smart TVs or whatever we have. All we're going to have are these kind of like subscription services to, like, you know, whatever it'll be, like Game Pass or PlayStation Studios, but they're all going to go to like different places that you're going to be able to access these. So it makes sense that this just starts happening now, you know, to kind of get ready for that potential future. So yeah, I mean, this is great, and I hope it happens for all of the, you know, like you know, God of War, like Spider-Man. I hope eventually that we be able to, doesn't matter what platform you're playing on, to a certain extent, you have a way of accessing these games.
Oh yeah, and a big part of a lot of the Souls community is the PC modding community for Souls games. And I know a lot of people have been itching to get their hands on Bloodborne.
Yeah,
just because that's definitely a fan favorite. I mean, Bloodborne's really good. Still have yet to beat it, but
That's
I'm gonna
got to
go back to
happen,
it one
isn't
day.
it? Surely it's got to happen.
Oh, it's got to happen. They've got to bring Bloodborne to PC because, I mean, I know a lot of people are saying like either Bloodborne needs a remaster for PS5, bring up the frame rate and everything.
Yeah.
But if you let the PC community get their hands on Bloodborne, they would go to town. I mean, people make randomizers for Dark Souls all the time. People have made like their own quest mods and everything for it. So I'd like to see that kind of community get their hands on it and see what they can do with it. That would be really interesting.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, and it's not a bad thing that more people get to experience games you like. Just people need to calm down on the internet. Let's be real.
Oh, that's the thing that I just don't understand. But then there's a lot of things I don't understand about people. But when you've got people kicking off because a game they love is coming out on another platform, it's like, where is your head at? I mean, what are you gaining from protecting this game that anyone else cannot play? I just don't understand this mentality. I mean, I do. It always comes down to the same thing. The same thing when it comes down to console fanboyism. It's just like it's trying to warrant their decision. It's basically, it comes down to like, I can't afford both things. I can only afford one thing, so therefore I've chosen this, so I must make sure that my choice was not wrong, you know. So like, you can't have the game that's coming out on the system on yours, all right? You can only be on mine. Yeah, so it's just a very, very, very strange thing.
It is. But since we've been talking about games coming to other platforms, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is coming to PS5, Series X, and Nintendo Switch this year. This is from GameSpot via Eddie McCunch. Really, man, that's just a couple letters off of being something absolutely terrible.
McCutch, yeah,
McCutch, yeah. McCutch. That's probably more right.
Yeah. We're probably pronouncing that wrong. I don't know, but probably. I'm pretty sure it's McCutch.
I'm sure a lot of names I've said have been wrong.
Absolutely butchered them, haven't we?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's fine though. They might not see this. If you do, Eddie, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
DM me and let me know how to say your name.
Slide into Vince's DMs.
Yeah, let me know. But following rumors, Activision has formally announced that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 will release on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch this year. The PlayStation and Xbox versions arrive on March 26th, while the Switch edition doesn't have a specific release date, but is confirmed for 2021. Activision is promising a, quote, variety of upgrades, including 120 frames per second at 1080p and 60 frames per second 4K visuals, along with spatial audio and other enhancements for the next-gen PlayStation and Xbox versions. The Switch edition, meanwhile, won't have these impressive frame rates and graphics, it seems, but the big appeal is you can play it on the go. Quote, high fidelity atmospherics will be added to the next gen upgrade for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, reads a line from its description. This unique graphical feature will allow players to enjoy the experience of sharper dynamic shadows, reflections, and lens flares, as well as enhanced skater textures and more on next-gen consoles. People who already bought a digital copy of the game for PS4 or Xbox One or a disc version on PS4 can upgrade to the same console family with all of your progress at no cost, except in Japan, where this will cost 100 yen. Note that this seemingly only applies to the deluxe edition, and that this offer doesn't seem to be available for the disc version on Xbox One. Activision will also sell a, quote, cross-gen deluxe bundle that costs $10 more. This comes with a new skater, Ripper, along with retro gear for a create a skater mode, along with retro skins for Tony Hawk, Steve Cabera?
Yeah.
That double L's throwing me off. and Rodney Mullen. You can check out the full upgrade FAQ on Activision's websites if you have questions about your specific situation. So this is interesting because, I quickly read through this, threw it in there because it's like, oh, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, get an next gen upgrade. That's great. The thing that throws me off is the Xbox One disc version doesn't seem to offer an upgrade.
Even just like listening to that, it kind of lost me a bit there because I was a bit confused because I know that Adam has this on the PlayStation 4, and so would he get the free upgrade or is it just the deluxe edition if he owns that? I wasn't sure what it was saying there, but
people who already bought a digital copy of the game for PS4 or Xbox One or a disc version on PS4 can upgrade to the same console family with all of your progress at no cost, except in Japan, where this will cost 100 yen. Note that this seemingly only applies to the deluxe edition, and that this offer doesn't seem to be available for the disc version on Xbox One. Yeah, it's a little...
Yeah, it's a bit confusing there anyway, but either way, this would have certainly sweetened the Nintendo Direct if they even just dropped this in there. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
That would have been this would have been a standout announcement in that video. Where were you, Activision? You really could have helped out there. But I'm glad that Switch owners are going to get their hands on this. So that's great. But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely check this out at some point on the PlayStation 5. Now it's got the next gen upgrade. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this because I'm not like a huge Tony Hawk's fan. Like, I have a certain amount of nostalgia for it because obviously I remember when those games came out on the PS1. I remember playing the demos to death. I never actually bought any of the ones on the PlayStation 1. Don't even know why at that point, but I have this weird attachment to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on the Game Boy Advance, which was I'm telling you, that was a really good game. Like for the time, like that was fantastic. And I played that game to death. It was quite a good port really it was a kind of different layout. It was kind of isometric and top down, but all the same layouts and stuff like that. But yeah, no, this is cool because I will jump on it. Although I'll be honest, I'm more excited for Skate 4.
Oh, for sure.
I am a big Skate fan, so that's what I'm waiting on. I know you can't really compare. That's like it's a more arcade.
It's like apples and oranges.
Yeah, exactly. You got like a fun like arcadey game and a simulator more. So, but no, this is cool. It's good news. Good news.
Oh yeah. So I went to the Activision website just to kind of get some clarification on this. So for the Xbox One, the Digital Deluxe Edition, purchasers of the Digital Deluxe Edition for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 for Xbox One will have the option to upgrade to the series version of the game at no cost through the Xbox Store. An internet connection is required to upgrade the game. The Standard Digital Edition, purchasers of the Standard Digital Edition of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 for Xbox One will have the option to upgrade to the series version through the Xbox Store. Internet connection is required. Please note the upgrade offer is not available with the physical versions of the game on Xbox One. Interesting. So PS4 to PS5. Let's see. Purchasers of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 for PlayStation on disc will have the option to upgrade to PlayStation 5 through the PlayStation Store.
Oh, okay.
Players will then use the game disc to download or play the game on PlayStation 5, and internet connection is required.
Okay.
So
what we were saying earlier, and this period is going to be drawn out so much more than it has been in the past. This transition, and it's just so messy. Like, it's just so unclear what's happening every single game. It's like a case by case scenario. So it's like, okay, if I own this, like, do I get this for free? Okay, oh no, I've got to own this edition of it to get that for. Oh god, it's just a headache. I mean, and we're in it. We are like in this circle. Can you imagine being someone like who's just like a general consumer? It's not even embedded in the games, like in the games industry, and they're just they've got a copy of a game and then buy a PS5. They're like, can I play this? Can I play this game? What's going on here?
It's so confusing now, but yeah, I can only imagine like the parents or the grandparents walking into like your GameStops or Targets and just being like, all right, now what game my kid on what system? The PlayStation 4 different than the PlayStation 5, the Xbox One X.
Oh, especially with Xbox.
Yeah.
I just don't even, I still have to try and remind myself. I still get confused with the names. How even like a parent is going in and buying their kid the right game for the right Xbox system. I just have no idea.
Oh, it's a nightmare. Luckily, I buy my own games, so I don't get too confused. But let's round out this lovely news break with, I guess, a little sad update for like 5 people, maybe. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which is a hell of a name, has been delayed again. This is from GameSpot via Alessandro Barbosa. A major change is underway for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. The long-awaited action RPG, Bloodlines 2, has been delayed yet again, but more notable than this is the fact that the publisher Paradox has parted ways with developer Hardsuit Labs, which will no longer work on the game. After a delay in late 2020, Bloodlines 2 was expected to launch in 2021, as development focused on polishing. In its latest earnings release, however, Paradox has announced that the sequel to Vampire the Masquerade will no longer be releasing in 2021 at all, and that a new studio is now at work on the project. As part of a statement on the change, Paradox CEO, oh Jesus, Ebba Lundgren?
Ebba Lundgren. Yeah.
Okay.
So
says
Lundgren.
Yeah. Whatever. Ebba, let's just call him Ebba. Says the hard decision was made to ensure the game lives up to the quality standards fans are expecting. Quote, we have now chosen to postpone the release of the game further, and we will not be launching the game in 2021. The statement reads, we have also decided that Hardsuit Labs will no longer be leading the development of Bloodlines 2, and we have started a collaboration with a new studio partner to finish work on the game. This has been a difficult decision, but we are convinced that it is the right way forward to do the game justice. Wow. Just wow.
Trouble in camp.
Yeah. It's always a good sign when, a game that was previous delayed is now delayed again and is now being head up by a completely new developer.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. But I honestly forgot this game was a thing.
I did. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I don't know too much about the Vampire the Masquerade franchise or games, whatever it is, but I know it's got a hardcore following, and I always hear like from the fans that they're actually like really good games. But I don't know enough about them. I've seen videos of them, and they always seem like okay, like they don't look like anything special. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong there, but obviously, yes, something is. Whenever you see this happen, then things have gone very, very wrong. Yeah, I mean, obviously, for them to kind of transition developers, and I mean, they're pretty much going to be starting from scratch. I mean, how many times have we seen something like this happen, and then the project ends up coming out like a fully polished game?
I don't think it's ever really happened, to be honest.
No.
I mean, I know they tried it with Duke Nukem 3.
Oh God! What?
No, Forever. Yeah,
yeah, which literally was forever.
Yeah, it was, and it was. What a game, right? What a game!
That's for sure. Yeah, what
yeah.
a game.
But with this being as late into development as it was, with them just working on polishing the game, to have it completely change course to a whole new developer is just, I mean, you got to feel for the team. Like something obviously bad probably happened between the publisher and the developer for them to can it that late into development just to switch teams for it. So either this game was really bad or they didn't like what was coming out of it.
See, this reminds me of a day goes by events that I don't think about. Free Radicals Star Wars Battlefront game. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like Free Radical, famously known for the Time Splitter series, they were working on the next Battlefront game, and you can actually find videos of it on YouTube, which it was still, I believe it was still a third person shooter as the original two Battlefronts were. But yeah, they were well into development on that, and that just got canned. And I think it was, I don't know if Lucasfilm looked at it and just like, yeah, no, we're not happy with this. And I think it was at around the same time. Maybe it was just down to Free Radical kind of closing as a studio. But that all kind of got sold off, and yeah, the rest is history. But yeah, I know it's slightly different to what's happening here, but yeah, sometimes I think this game will come out. This will come out, but what it will be, I don't know. Don't know.
And then we just saw it happen with what, Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah.
So that Switch developers as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Luckily, we hadn't seen like a full gameplay trailer or anything out of that. Of course, Nintendo probably last week would have been a good time to show anything out of that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But oh well, we'll get it when we get it, I guess.
Yep.
And hopefully, it'll actually pique my interest a little bit more.
For now, guys, keep your bloodlust at bay.
Right?
Just have to wait a little longer.
Just a little longer. All 6 people who are excited for this game. But you know what? They don't have to wait too much longer for, Terry.
What's that?
They don't have to wait too much longer to see us again, because we are doing the PlayStation Live Reacts on Thursday. So if you're watching this when it goes up on Wednesday, that's tomorrow. Definitely be on the lookout for that, because we are way more excited than we were for Nintendo. Hopefully that one doesn't come back to bite us in the ass like Nintendo's was.
Can you imagine? I can't take 2 disappointments in 1 week.
Oh, absolutely not. But I have high hopes for Sony. They gave us a whole bunch of news today. I gotta figure they're gonna give us a whole bunch of news on Thursday. But
see, I've always enjoyed their state of plays, whether they've like just been like not been any like kind of standout news. I think they put their state of plays together quite well. They've mentioned before, they're well paced. They fill it out with, even if it's like just some little games that you're kind of interested in. I just like the way they're presented. There's not too much fat on their videos. It's just like just well paced, which is the complete opposite for Nintendo's. They'll be like, they spend like 5 minutes just talking about a Smash Brothers character that no one cares about.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to just a good show for 30 minutes and just having some fun. Maybe crack open a bourbon, Vince. Who knows?
Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, because I mean, it's Sony. They always bring the hype, whether it's something we might not see for a couple years or something that shadow drops, which we'll see if anything does. That'd be awesome. But for now, that is our news break, Terry. We made it. We got through a bunch of PlayStation news.
That was a chunky news break.
It was. But that's not all for us, because other than the news break, we obviously have our podcast up as well, where we fight it out over the best video game weapon. So while you're here on our YouTube channel, check that out. If you're obviously a day late watching it, go watch our live reacts for PlayStation State of Play. See how either wrong or right we are. Who knows? But we also have another news break coming at you Friday with our special host, Terry, joined by Adam Very. Will he have his PlayStation 5 by then? Maybe. Probably not.
I'm sure we'll be discussing all the fallout from the showcase, so from the state of play. So yeah, there'll be lots to talk about again.
Huge week of news for PlayStation, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
When PlayStation comes out swinging, boy, do they come out swinging.
Sure do.
Oh, that's going to be everything from us, guys. We will see you Thursday for that live reacts, Friday for another news break with Terry and Adam, and Sunday for another episode of the Shifty Crab podcast. We got a whole bunch of content coming at you. And if you don't like watching the videos, we are also on podcast services around the globe. Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, you name it, we're there. It's very exciting. But that's enough. That's enough. I've ended the show like 3 times. Gotta end it eventually. I've been Vince. That's been Terry. Stay shifty, everybody.
See you later, guys.